a new Diablo-style ARPG called Vikings, Wolves of Midgard. As a 3,000-hour deep Diablo 3 player, this game is blowing me away. Here we go, friends. Let's start the show. Vikings, Wolves of Midgard is underrated. Straight up, Vikings is one of the best action RPGs I've ever played. And that's a big call, guys. It's got so many like, oh, I wish it had this feature moment. And I even did find one bug during my gameplay. But Vikings is one of the funnest experiences I've had playing an action RPG in like 2 years. I could talk for about 30 minutes about, the big and small features that has given me this opinion. So I'm going to do a top 5 to make it easy. Here we go. Top 5 best features and top 5 features I'd like to see in this game. Number 1, it's an ARPG without losing the RPG elements. This feels like a Witcher 3 or a Lords of the Fallen game in terms of pacing. It actually feels like an RPG and not a rush to level 70 and then the game begins. Number 2, settings. The Vikings setting is awesome. Like, the Vikings theme feels rich, it's consistent and relatable. I know nothing about this time period, but it still feels like all the monsters and the boss fights are close enough to say folklore or a world that's just slightly different to the real world in that era. Number 3, it's hard. When you first start this game, it is surprisingly really hard. Now, the more I've played it, the easier it's become, and I hope it starts to ramp up a game as the game progresses, but when you start out, it is a little bit tough, and that's on normal mode. Number 4, combat. Combat takes strategy in this game. God bless. You don't walk up to 99% of all of the enemies and just click on them until they're dead. You actually have to put in some kind of effort. The potion system is very similar to, say, Dark Souls or Lords of the Fallen once again. You get a set amount of healing to do the next zone. But if you fuck up and blow your healing too fast, you're done. Not like wait 30 seconds for a cooldown. No, you're done. You're dead. Number 5, combat again, guys. They have so many systems in this game that I feel is additive innovation. So these systems have existed for a while now, but it's adding on top of them and introducing them into an ARPG platform. So skills feel like an addition to your character rather than a superpower. You have a rage system, talismans, which are like ultimates that you find in the actual game. The game slows down and changes angle when you're doing really well, very similar to Mad Max. Even survival elements, you stay in the snow too long, then you take damage. It all just works for me. I just see eye to eye with what the developers are doing with this game. Trust me, this takes a lot for me to appreciate an action RPG, and right now I am. Let's talk about some of the counter features as well. I want to balance this out. Number 1, more classes. It's just one class right now. Feels a bit underwhelming. Number 2, the world is zoned. So when you finish a map, you don't just walk into the next area, you actually go back to town and then go to a boat to go to a new zone. This is really amateurish in my opinion. I feel like this is due to maybe budget constraints. The game needs a proper world to explore. When you finish a zone, you go into a new area, put in some more towns. This just feels like an important feature to a modern action RPG. It's amateurish the way that they're doing the zones. Number 3, odd camera angles. So the camera changes during boss fights. Diablo 3 did it with Act 2, the Belial fight, and this is about as far as you can push it with this genre. Vikings needs to chill with the camera on boss fights. It's cool when you're landing critical hits or doing combos during just normal fighting, but I think that's enough to be honest. Number 4, comparative tools. If I find an item, let me know if it's 10% more DPS or has better values than the current item equipped. Number 5, optimization. I have a decent computer, and if you're running, say, like a $1,000 laptop that's 2 years old, I don't think you can run this game at anything above 20 FPS or even at all. But just note, guys, like, I'm guessing from how much frame loss I get when recording the footage, even on a dedicated gaming PC. So just for perspective, if Diablo 3 gives you any issues whatsoever that relates to performance and not just some weird graphics card bug, I know this game will run a lot worse. I've heard a lot of like, it's okay, yeah, it's not bad. I truly think it's underrated right now. Is it worth 40 Australian dollars? Probably not. I personally feel like $1 should equal 1 hour of gameplay. I don't think Vikings has or will gain that popularity for it to become, a Path of Exile title with, almost infinite replayability. If you buy this game, you're probably the only person on your Steam's friend list with it. My name is Elvis. Thanks for watching, friends. Catch you next time.